The case of 14-year-old Karen Hapach Aldodo Akpaga, a student of Premier Academy Lugbe, Abuja, who was allegedly raped in her school, a situation that eventually led to her death, is one too many of cases whereby the girl child have been sexually assaulted in recent times. Her case has continued to spark debate just as investigations to unravel the culprits continues. Hi everyone, good and welcome once again. My name is Harmless. If you're watching me on YouTube, welcome to Harmless TV, and if you're watching me on Facebook, welcome to Joyce Sedan. Yes, this one are the case of one little small girl of 14 years old when her name be Karen Hapach Aldodo Akpaga. When be student for one Premier Academy, and she did for boarding house. That school they locate for Lugbe for Abuja, Nigeria. As we dey hear the information, so we can hear say this small girl, so they reptilize this girl, rape her, maybe the first time, maybe the second time, so say that thing so now it cause her death. For the information we hear, we can hear say they even leave burst condom when e be say e don burst, e dey for this girl body. Yes, so and they still find out say some kind of bacterial disease, all this kind of ogbonge disease, so they still discover am for inside the girl body. Another thing so now lead to her death. The story of this little girl, they very disturbing and heartbreaking, I tell you. And also the circumstances when it be say surround the death of this little girl, so it get as it be, because now this little girl, now she be the only daughter when they for inside the family. And since when this matter happen, so when it be say this poor little girl die, this one are the first time when it be say her mother they come out for public to come tell people her mind, because she dey very heartbroken for the story of her daughter. When it come be say now her pikin na Karen, now it come become the one of the latest victims of sexual abuse, and she now they let us they know how her daughter come fall into depressions when her daughter come back from the school and eventually die few days for inside the hospital. The mama say she named her daughter Karen Hapach, what means God has filled my cup. He said, but the Premier Academy, when they for Lugbe for Abuja there, he said they collect the cup, they empty the cup, and the water where they for inside, they can't even break the cup. He said the cup when he be say he give the Premier Academy full, he said they return the cup to am empty and they break the cup. He said that matter, so say it's too much for her to bear. He said as a mother, she even said she go do everything to protect her daughter, everything within her power to protect her daughter. He said but it is too late, because the Premier Academy, when she be say she entrusted her daughter with to them the responsibility to look after her daughter. He said they do nothing to help her, rather they start to they tell and say they suspect this one, they suspect that one. He said the matter it get as it be, she not come fit bear am. She said since her daughter died, he said people go even notice self. Say instead when the management of that school, when they call Premier Academy, when they for Lugbe for Abuja, go allow the family to grieve and mourn the daughter. He said the Premier Academy, when they for Lugbe Abuja, that school, he said they just they preoccupy and they want to look good to the public rather than to work on how to bring the culprits and the people when be say they rape a daughter. He said the Premier Academy, when they for Lugbe for that school, so he said they put their own business interest of the school, he said above the life of her 14-year-old daughter. He said they don't even try many times to tarnish her own image with some ugly stories. According to the explanations, he said the management of the school self, he said they have the knowledge when he be say her daughter, they rape her daughter, they get the knowledge of the condition of her daughter. He said that they even know how her daughter how they rape her daughter. He said despite the effort when he be say her daughter even call her, he call her, tell her say mama come carry me go house. He said but he tell the school people, he said the school tell her say no, make you not come, say nothing they happen, say everything they okay. He say no know say the authority of the school, he no know say that they find how they want to buy time, make that just cover everything, sweep everything under the carpet. He said thank God to one of the concerned staff, person when he be say they work for inside the school. Now he call and tell and say mama come carry your pikin, no, because the condition of your pikin they very bad. He said that person come insist, come make sure say she must surely come carry her pikin. Now that time now she can't carry her pikin. He said when he carry her pikin, she's already dey bad. From then now she carry her pikin go in hospital. According to her, she said on the 22nd of June 2021, he said, "My 14-year-old daughter, Karen Haposh Adodo Akpaga, died." Wow. Wow. He said Karen Haposh, whom I fondly called Dido, was a boarding student of Premier Academy Lugbe, Abuja. He said on the 18th of June 2021, my daughter had informed me that she had an eye infection and asked me to come and pick her by 5 p.m. same day. But her teacher, whose phone was used, advised that I come pick her on Saturday, 18th of June 2021, being a call day to avoid landing her teacher in trouble since her phone was used. She continued to explain that on the 19th of June 2021, being an official call weekend, Karen Haposh called me begging me that I come to pick her as she was ill with an eye infection. I called the school metro to secure an exit on the 19th day of June for Karen, but was told Karen would be placed in isolation for 7 days on her return from school. The metro suggested an alternative of the school driving her to the clinic and taking her back to avoid isolation. After her treatment, Karen was distraught when she learned that she was going back to school and began to go home with me. I promised her I will secure an exit from the school and pick her. I called the principal, who agreed to give her one. Following that assurance from the principal, I got to Premier Academy Lugbe on the same day at about 1 p.m. to pick my daughter, but wasn't granted permission to pick her. The matron assumed me that they were taking good care of her and that she was fine. Following assurance by the matron, I left without my daughter. However, while heading back home on the said 19th day of June, I received a call from a concerned staff of the school telling me that my daughter was badly sick and seriously distressed in school on Wednesday, the 16th day of June 2021, with inability to walk without assistance of some of her friends who helped her to class to write a continuous assignment test in tears. She said the caller told me to disregard claims made by the matrons that my daughter was not sick, insisting that she was in their strength and needed to be taken away from school immediately. The caller advised me to come to the gate and make a lot of noise to constitute a nuisance, otherwise I would not be allowed to take my daughter away. Alarmed at this information, I returned to the school around 2:30 p.m. or thereabouts, constituting a nuisance at the gates for the next 3 hours or thereabouts, as well as calling the phone numbers of the school principals and the matron before I was finally allowed to take my daughter away for medical care. Wow, gosh, God of mercy. 3 days after I took away my daughter, she died in a hospital in Abuja on the 22nd day of June 2021. But before Karen's death, the hospital discovered that she had been raped, condom left in her vagina, which had caused an infection that resulted to sepsis and the trauma that led to her dismiss. Raped and broken till her life was abruptly cut short in one of the most brutal and unimaginable manner. Karen Haposh was adjudged to be godly, intelligent, and a reserved girl. Even management of her school attested to it. Before her death, Karen had marked a portion in her Bible a self-explanatory of the trauma and depression she might then be passing through in silence. It reads, "For what I have dreaded has come upon me, and what I have feared has befallen me. I have had no peace, no quiet, no rest, but trouble kept coming." Quote from Job chapter 3 verse 25-26. Her dream of becoming a nurse to use her kindness and good nature to nurse people and bring them back to good health ended up in the hands of a rapist who snatched that dream away from her. According to one Mrs. Lillian Agbodike, the enrollment and marketing officer, she said, "The Karen I know was a very good girl academically and she was sound. She was always on her own. She has never appeared before any disciplinary committee for any reason. She was very, very reserved." And they also made some allegations against the premier school, saying that the mystery behind her death has continued to spark heated debates rife with conflicting theories, attempted manipulations, and the false inventories of evidence by concerned parties, a situation that has been described as clearly a display of a vested interest that are deserving to the cause of justice. So my lovely people, what do you think in this particular issue? Because we have listened that whereby the mother said that she went to the school to pick her daughter, and the school authority told her that her daughter was fine, whereas her daughter was very, very sick. And if not, that a good Samaritan in the school called her back to come and pick her daughter, whereby she created a scene at the gate and spent almost 3 hours before she can even be allowed to enter the school and pick her daughter. So I think that the school authorities, they are really guilty, and they know what happened to this particular Haran, and they should come and tell the whole world what happened to Haran, what happened to this little small girl of 14 years old, this brilliant and beautiful lady. Let them come out and tell the whole world, because this is quite unfortunate that someone will just leave her daughter in the body school. She will feel that, and she will trust the school to take care of her daughter or her child or her son, and along the way the school authority will know that that person is sick, that person had been raped, and they will refuse to take the same person to the hospital, even to allow the parents to come and pick her for treatment. So this is very, very wrong, and I believe that the school authorities, they have a lot to say in this particular issue. So I want you all to drop your comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe and click notification bell, so you'll be getting new updates as far as it comes out. You understand? So this is so touchy. The school authority, I think they have to pay for this. What nonsense. So may they bring out the person when they be say rape this small little girl. So if even be saying I want teacher for inside that school, so because nobody now when person fit trust again, because if not the teacher do this kind of thing, I can imagine whereby the teachers, they know say this girl not well, they know say something happen to this girl, still they don't want allow the parents to find out wetin dey happen, that they keep the girl, they seize the girl, and the girl, now the thing they make the girl, they sick more. They don't even carry this girl go hospital, they not treat her, they not even allow her parents to come pick her. I think something is wrong. So they ask the principal of that useless school, when they call wetin they call am, that academy nonsense, or what does that call that rubbish school, so when they for Lugbe for Abuja there, so we they ask them that their premier academy make the teachers and the principals make the come out to tell the whole world wetin happen to Helen, this beautiful little small girl of 14 years old, because this is very, very ungrateful. Had they been at their own pikin, I not believe say they go allow and keep am for inside school when they be say the pikin not well. So many of una see say this, all this body school, especially for inside that country when they call Nigeria, not even dey safe. I can imagine say this time when be say Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen, they see they kidnap people, or see they leave my children for inside body school. This time around, people are wicked. Many people are wicked. Wetin they no go fit do to themselves or their children, they go like make they do am to another person. I beg, make una no dey keep una children for inside their body school again. I beg, carry your pikin go house. I beg, make your pikin dey go school, they come, you go dey use your eye, they see am, e dey better pass. So body school, they not dey study anything, they rape them for inside that body school. So we see the one wey happen when one woman still cry out, come out, whether na Deeper Life body school, I been waiting they call that body school, I don't know for them. The same thing, the same inhuman treatment. They know they give them food, that they maltreat them, that they reptilize them, so on and so forth. I beg, carry your pikin near your body, so that you go know wetin dey happen for your pikin. No, had they been in go school now, say they rape am for school, he come back, he say mommy I not well, you go feel attack am quick, you go feel know wetin dey happen, you go feel carry and rush and go hospital quick, so that you go treat her. But for them now to keep this small little girl for inside school without treatment and everything, my lovely people, get as this matter be, and it no sweet us for mind. That is why we dey call on the principals and the teachers for that school, say may they come answer the case of this little small girl when they call Heron. So may they come tell us wetin happen to this small Heron. Thank you all for watching, and remain blessed. Bye for now.